Chapter 17, 3-Year-Old Couple 1. The one who appeared was a modern, fashionable girl with arrogant expression and unwilling tone. I am more beautiful than her, more successful than her, and smarter than her. Why does everyone like her? Speaking again turned to lower, big head Huang. You see through my nature, why can't you see my true feelings? Why did I cooperate with you to play the role of lovers to hide your lies, but in the end in your heart I became the biggest liar? Why? This time, Nan Hoa entered a new world feeling extremely miserable. The trustee is a celebrity. There is almost no time to rest. Waking up from a daze in the dark, she opens her eyes to see a busy crowd. The original owner's memories have not yet been passed down. Fortunately, the activity ended and the makeup artist finished removing her makeup. Nan Hoa was like a puppet being pulled by strings and was pushed into the dressing room to change clothes. She was then surrounded and entered the elevator, and finally hurriedly landed on the nanny car. It was pitch black outside, obviously late at night. Not knowing anything about the situation made her really helpless. As soon as she got in the car, she looked tired and leaned against the car window in her casual clothes, closing her eyes. The transmission of memories was not something that people could control. Roughly when she changed clothes, she had a feeling of recalling past events, and outside people kept talking to her. The conflicting feeling of internal and external discord made her very uncomfortable. The staff in the car seemed to understand her very well, and everyone was quiet so she could rest well. The work location seemed to be very far from home. Of course it did not exclude the driver to avoid being photographed deliberately taking a few long turns. When a woman called Nan Hoa to wake up, by the time she spoke, Nan Hoa had almost completely absorbed her memories. This body only slept less than 6 hours in 3 days. She rubbed her painfully twitching forehead, said goodbye to the people in the car, and went upstairs alone to return to the room in her memory. Speaking of funny, this time it was actually Korean. She always subconsciously thought that the 18 departments were all from her own country, but there were also people from other countries. This client is an actress who is also a part-time singer, real name Yoo Hee, stage name Yoo Hee. Originally an ordinary family girl, by a chance, her natural beauty was discovered by a star seeker, and from then on she entered the entertainment industry. In just 3 short years, Yoo Hee became the national fairy that everyone knew, and gained countless fans. Under the spotlight, her character was beautiful, gentle, kind, and caring, as if she was born a little princess. In fact, in 3 years, in a small company, from being unknown to now, she had paid endless effort. In those 3 years, her rest time was 1/3 of an ordinary person's. Often, she was so tired that her eyes would automatically stick together, and the next second, the lights would turn on, and she would immediately dive into the performance or sing and dance on stage. But at the same time, the surface gentle and kind person and Yoo Hee actually also do not match. This girl, the true personality actually has a bit of arrogance and vicious mouth. Not people with such personality ability to perceive unclear, for arrogant people to say, everyday meet people, clearly feel those gentle and kind words are very shy, also want a very small white rabbit and pure to say out, is how much of a goosebumps challenge feel shy thing. At the beginning time, her all face stiff, ears red, wish can cover face no longer see people. Later on, the work was heavy and her mood was under pressure. Yoo Hee increasingly did not want to pressure herself. Often, she could not help but reveal her true nature. The company's president also noticed this situation. Considering that the company was also slowly getting back on track, he reduced Yoo Hee's workload, wanting to make her relax. As for the problem of personality, the company had considered changing her image, but thinking back, Yoo Hee was only 23 years old and her fan base was not yet completely stable. Changing her image at this time seemed a bit too early, not thinking that man's will is not as good as heaven's. Just at this time of relaxation, Yoo Hee fell into the trouble of Angel. The person who disguised herself as a man to deceive fans in the end did not suffer any effects. Yoo Hee was completely blackened, her reputation went downhill, a large number of fans lost their fans, her career was ruined. But Yoo Hee seemed to have had enough of the two-faced life, and was not very obsessed with her career. On the contrary, towards the person she initially liked, not only did he not like her, he also gave her a fraud evaluation. which she kept in mind for the rest of her life. At the same time, she was also very dissatisfied. She cooperated with Hwang Tae-kyung's lies, and pretended to be lovers with him. Why did everyone, including Hwang Tae-kyung, feel that she was the biggest liar in the end? This problem, Yoo-hee wondered for hundreds of years, finally stubbornly believed that, at the beginning, the time when she met Hwang Tae-kyung was too ugly, causing Hwang Tae-kyung to forever leave the impression that she was a two-faced person. Seeing this, Nan-hoa couldn't help but laugh. Although Yoo-hee was arrogant and vicious, her temperament was still that of a little girl. Although you were helping him cover up, you were also threatening him. How could a normal person have so much goodwill? Moreover, this was still a narcissistic little girl, thinking that she had beauty, career, and talent. Why couldn't the big-headed Hwang see the good in her, and instead liked a little white rabbit that was not right at all? After finishing the memory, Nan-hoa was a little embarrassed. After entering the entertainment industry, the original owner's biggest obsession was probably love, but could not be had. How should this be accomplished? No matter Nan-hoa herself or Hwang Tae-kyung, liking was not something that anyone could control. Rubbing the still-throbbing temples, she sighed and fell asleep. It felt like she had just fallen asleep not long ago, when a voice kept calling her. But Nan-hoa's eyelids seemed to be stuck together, she really couldn't open them. Yoo-hee, get up. In the morning, you still want to go to the nursing home to visit the elderly and shoot a public service film. Yoo-hee, you. He. E. That voice went from being gentle to finally exploding with anger. Nan-hoa was annoyed by the noise, she pulled the blanket over her head. Ah. You damn girl. Let me up. Having had enough of her sleeping in, the agent angrily lifted the blanket. This body really doesn't sleep much, moreover in the previous life as a noble lady, working and resting well, never had not enough sleep, Nan-hoa really couldn't bear it. The agent first discovered that her artist loved to sleep in, Yoo-hee. Don't think that just because the director reduced your workload, you can relax. Go wash your face immediately, the time will come soon. Nan-hoa was pushed to wash her face and change her clothes, then a few people surrounded her and put on makeup. She was in a daze the whole time, but her strong soul could not resist the drowsiness. Half an hour later, Nan-hoa got into the nanny car while sucking milk. Seeing her still half asleep, the agent felt both heartache and anger, and slapped her. Be motivated. I know, Nan-hoa bit the straw and looked at the agent with wide eyes, convincing evidence that she was sober. Slightly fleshy face, round big eyes, the agent covered her chest. Not admitting that she was a little bit attracted to her cuteness, adjusted her expression, and began to naggingly remind her artiste of the things she needed to pay attention to later. This time the public service film's director and co-stars are all top-notch, so, you must be gentle. You must pay attention to your character. You must not reveal your true nature. Even if you are behind the scenes, you are not allowed to relax. As long as you leave the house, you must remember, you are the beautiful and kind national fairy. Nan-hoa secretly curled her lips, everyone said she was a fairy, how could she still be gentle and kind? When they arrived at the welfare hospital, the director's team had already prepared all the equipment. The agent stuffed the bouquet into Nan-hoa's hands and got out of the car with a smile. Nan-hoa looked at the flowers in her hands. The agent's preparations were absolutely perfect. Although she was still not used to this fast-paced, high-intensity work, she still tried her best to do her duty and take things one step at a time. Get off the car, walk into the welfare hospital, all the way receive countless gazes. There are continuous, ah. It's Yoo-hee, so beautiful, the real person is so beautiful, surprised exclamations and excited voices, moreover most of them are male staff. Nan-hoa greeted the director and dean, and together with the flower-holding representative and staff, gave the flowers to those old people. The promotional film, in addition to Nan-hoa, also had a male group member. Nan-hoa had a headache from not sleeping enough and did not postpone it. There was no question. The two were also divided into A and B filming teams and had nothing to do with each other. Nan-hoa accompanied those old people to chat, many of the old people had no old friends, their children were very busy, so they came to the orphanage. There were also people whose children had died early, had no place to depend on. Even though they had children, in reality many of them did not see each other even once a year. The old people always liked to talk about the past. Hearing that she would sing, they also made her sing all kinds of old songs. When Nan Hoa saw the director's reminder, making her feel everything come naturally, she relaxed and blended into them. She poured her heart out to accompany them to sing strange songs that they had almost never heard before. The old are like children, accompanying the elderly is also a very tiring matter. Nan Hoa also did not care about the results of filming. After filming ended, immediately walked quickly to the resting place, planning to rest well for a bit. The resting place was the welfare office. For the artist's privacy, the curtains were pulled up. Nan Hoa was about to rest, and did not turn on the lights, directly in the darkness found a sofa and walked down. At this time, Nan Hoa's nerves suddenly relaxed. Work, after entering the body endlessly tired, a whole new life. Nan Hoa's temples were pounding, obviously extremely tired, not knowing why. Those old man's appearance still kept flashing in his mind, recalling the memory of that old grandmother who cried when she lost her child when she was young. Nan Hoa suddenly thought of Yu He's parents. The original owner in her previous life was when she went abroad to avoid Gomi Nam's true pursuit, unexpectedly passed away. After entering the entertainment industry for several long years, Yu He and her family had almost no communication, and the Yu family's parents, along with Yu He's elder brother, had all really doted on Yu He since he was young, even though the family's conditions at that time were not very good. Thinking, Nan Hoa pressed her temples hard, took out her cell phone, found the number, and called out. "Hey! Mom!" Opposite immediately came an excited female voice, loudly calling her husband, saying that his daughter was calling. Nan Hoa's whole body seemed to relax, even her head didn't seem to hurt so much. A smile unconsciously appeared on her face. "Well, just finished a job." "Right, visiting the elderly welfare home." "Don't worry. I'll rest well. I might be free in a few days. I'll go home. Mom must prepare delicious food for me." I'll definitely eat it all, don't worry." Seeing Mom's delicious food, "I can't eat properly anymore." Don't know how long they talked. The two parents took turns talking. After a long time they finally reluctantly hung up the phone. Nan Hoa put down her phone, rubbed her face, yawned a few times, and slowly fell asleep, leaning her head on the sofa. From Yu He, who entered later, was already being ignored. Huang Taekyung.